Oh, hello everyone. I'm out here with Jazz, and basically I saw some photos of how she was stood at the last show I took her to, and I wasn't that impressed because I know she can stand a hell of a lot better. And she didn't move very well, so I keep meaning to do like a training session with her at home. And I figured I may as well do the standing part and the moving part. Well, now that's a hell of an overstack, isn't it, Adam? You go back. So I think part of what she was doing at the show was she was stood too close to me, and then her head was like up, so it made it look like she had a U-neck, and she doesn't have a U-neck, she has a nice neck. But we weren't showing it on the day, were we, sweetheart? And yes, it was her first show back after a season. She hadn't even had a chance to have a walk, so in all fairness to her, wait. So I just want to practice that I can step back and I can step forward and back without big movement from her, which is all we need. And if she moves, we got to do a spin and then we set up again. So just like a little reminder to everyone of how I teach dogs to stack. There are many ways of teaching a dog to stack, but a Dalmatian is what you call a free stack breed, so they should be able to go into a show stack without humans placing their legs like you would for other breeds. So like Phoebe, who's a German short-haired pointer, she's a hand stacked breed, so I can move her legs manually to where I want them, whereas Jazz's and the Dalmatians need to be able to get their legs there. Good girl. Right, now where's your tail gone? We've lost it, your tail. No. So you get her excited. Yes, better. But she creeps forward. Good girl. Good girl. And the other thing Jazz tends to want to do in the room is, you see how we're stood this way? Now from this way it's really natural to pick up the left hand and go forward. So they're always, when they're moving, they're always on your left hand side. But anyway, she always wants to face this way to stack in the lineup. And I usually just let her, because if she's going to settle and stand better, I'm better off doing that. So why we stood wide behind? That is a new one on me. Oh, that was useless. Jasmine. Hey, Fatty. Jazz. Jazz, I don't think I've dropped any. Good. So whenever she's sort of roughly 4 legs square, I reward her. But anyway, to teach them the show stack, I teach them a few different things. So I teach them to walk backwards by me putting my hand towards their chest. Good, back. I teach them to walk forwards and follow a food lure. And then I teach them to walk slowly following the food lure. See, so 1 step at a time. See how she's stretching forward. She knows her front legs were right. Another step. There you go. So I teach them to walk slowly like that. I also teach them a spin and a twist, just because I think that's really good for help getting them to straighten up. I think it's really good for hind end awareness. But basically, when they're confident taking little sort of half steps forward, half steps back, then I can get them into that sort of stack. And wait. Good girl. Go. Pew. Pew. See, I make a silly noise. And we get the tail, but we don't get, we move. Yes. Yes, I want it all together. That's better. Yes, your daddy used to struggle with this too, and then he got the hang of it. Yes. Yes, your daddy used to struggle with his tail. Did he not? Yes, he did. Good girl. Good girl. So this is already better head and neck placement. So what I'm looking for really is like her nose to be straight, level. So I'll just show you the difference of how it changes. Actually, she wanted to sit then, but we didn't do that on the day. We just stood with our head upright. See how it just sort of ruins her front and top line compared to that. It's a very small difference. I know she's not quite right in her stack. Good. Good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move you and then I'm going to do a bit of moving. I moved you as far back as I dare. What I'm going to try and do is give you a bit of perspective. So see how she's pacing? So pacing is when they move, there she's trotting diagonally. And now she's pacing again. Can you see the difference? So we want left, front, right hind to move together. And then right front, left hind to move together. So they move diagonal. But what she can sometimes do is she does left front and left hind together, then right front, right hind together, and that's called pacing. So we want her to trot diagonally. So I need to figure out some different techniques of getting her to set off in a diagonal trot like that. Good. Good girl. So all I'm doing is holding a treat up, so I'm getting her head up. So if she bounces around, it doesn't really matter too much. So there she's pacing again. Good. That was useless. Can we do the shuck slow? Upright trot. So yeah, I need to figure out different ways of doing it. And I know one way is to get her to do a spin and set off. Good girl. Do a spin and we set off. Good girl. So I think for her, she paced at the show because it was a really small ring and she was quite tense. And when they're quite tense in their back, like she was that day, I think it just makes them more predisposed to pacing. Certainly been the case with a giant schnauzer who didn't like being gone over by strangers. That was certainly how she was about the whole thing. And there are some dogs that are just built in a way that they never pace. But all we need to do is just do a quick spin and trot. Good girl. Quick spin and trot. Yes, good girl. So the other thing with Jazz is I sometimes feel like she doesn't really move forward in the trot, and for that I need to go somewhere different where I can just keep going and really get her to open up her trot. But actually this has been quite a productive little session. So she's learned that she can set off in a trot straight after a spin or a twist. So I'm really pleased with that. And I think we've worked a little bit on our stack and me being able to step further away from her and closer. Back one, half a little step. jumping part good and you got the stacking part good, then you want to try and combine it. So not all judges will ask you to do this, but some judges will ask you to move. So I'm going to get her to trot. And now we're going to do a little spin and stand. And we want to be in a good stack. So that wasn't bad. It didn't take long to get the good stack, but we could have been a touch quicker again. Good. Right, should we have another go? Was that fun? Was that fun? Oh, we're pacing. We're not doing that. You can't be treated for that. Ready? Go. Yes. Good. And stand. Good girl. So I'm going to end the session there. I think that was a really productive session with her. And hopefully you guys have picked up some little pointers as well. Good girl. Find her. Yeah, but it's quite nice sometimes to have little problems that I can do a training video and show you how I work on them. So anyway, see you all soon. Bye.